Trey, I can't.
Hello, and I can't take myself off mute appropriately. Hello, and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate romanticism through art, storytelling, nature, music, poetry, creating, and passionate people doing incredible things, and watching me take myself off mute when needed. Hello, I I am being persecuted in the chat because apparently I haven't watched any of the Lord of the Rings movies. Hi, I'm Trey, and tonight I am joined by my excellent co-host. Uh, Top of the morning to you, and I can't do that in an Irish brogue. I'm sorry, Emily. Hi, Emily.
I'm going to change my name to You Have to Watch Lord of the Rings to Be Friends with Me.
Okay.
But you'll get a
Well,
stay of execution for now.
beautiful. I love it. Uh, Thank you. Oh, magnanimous one. Um, if you are watching live right now, hello. You need to go listen to our other episodes. Join our thousands of listeners. They are available where all the best podcast outlets are. Just look for us under Modern Romantic or visit our website at themodrom.com and click podcast up at the top. If you didn't know by now, we live stream all of our interviews, and you are invited to join us. Interact with our guests every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Visit twitch.tv/The Modern Romantic to follow us and subscribe. And don't forget to go watch all the Lord of the Rings films.
That's right.
Follow us on social media channels. We also invite you to go watch all the Lord of the Rings movies and share us with a friend. Um, Tonight we have a very wonderful guest, for whose website I'm already salivating over the products that they have displayed because oh my god, did they look amazing! But I'm going to pass it over to Emily. Would you do this the honor of introducing our very welcome guest tonight?
Yes, tonight we have Amy Guilbeau from Henderson's Hearth. Amy does baking and makes jams and soup mixes and gifts and all kinds of things. And she does Renaissance festivals and is located in Louisiana. So, lords and ladies, princes and princesses, and food lovers, please welcome Amy Guilbeau.
Thank you. Thank you. Be here with you.
Yeah, thanks for
Absolutely.
coming.
Amy, I do have to say that when when Emily sent me the link for it, I just started scrolling and started making a wish list of things. And one of the first things that came up was your blueberry with, let me get the name right, your blueberry with thyme jam.
Yes.
Um, oh my God, does that sound amazing? And then raspberry citrus honey jam. Uh,
hmm
I have definitely found products that I will be adding to my collection very, very soon. um,
Wonderful.
how did you how did you get started? What
Yeah.
inspired you to start crafting all of these excellent dishes?
It was after work Renaissance Festival through other vendors. I noticed that they were all running out and spending a big load of money eating at restaurants. The soup mixes actually came up first because you can stick those in a crock pot at lunch waiting for you when you got done at the end of the day. And then soup, you might want bread or dessert. So some of them are family recipes, curated, but I got a nice little selection going. And then in my first season at the Louisiana Ren Fair, we were putting all the up on the shelf, and I'm going, that looks bland. I should make jam. Like I had totally lost my mind and came up with there's the first year. And normally I try to have about 5, but right now finding some of the fruits availability. So we have 4 on the website right now.
And for our listeners, just so that you can salivate along with me, because I'm
Excuse me.
not even kidding. Bless you. Uh, they have strawberry vanilla jam,
Ooh,
raspberry citrus honey jam, blueberry with thyme jam, and orange ginger marmalade.
that all sounds so good.
Uh, so my partner and I finished watching the Paddington Bear movies,
Hmm.
um, and honestly, there was nothing cuter than like seeing him just go, "Would you like a marmalade sandwich? I just happen to have one in my hat."
That clip with the one of my all-time favorite scenes. That was just, and then she pulls her. I just thought that was terrific.
Oh, that was so cute. A total
But
PR stunt, but so cute.
yeah, but I hope if I make it to her age of humor and I can joke about myself and everybody, I thought that was. But with the jams, I make them the way our grandmothers did. So that it's fruit, sugar, lemon juice is the only preservative I use, and then I to make it something you can't find at your local box grocery.
Yeah,
Oh,
I noticed those flavors are flavors that I've not really seen that you can't just go get.
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you have a favorite yourself?
it depends. The orange marmalade, I'm with it. So as a glaze on vegetables or on meats, it's wonderful breakfast or your scones. Um, the strawberry vanilla jam used it as the filling on her wedding cake a few years
Oh,
ago. Yes, and I've done uh, salad dressings or with the orange gin. I mean the raspberry citrus. I'm just having a plain slice of toast. It's the raspberry citrus for me.
okay. That sounds so good. That sounds like my kind of combination. One of the people in the chat said strawberry vanilla jam for a strudel.
Yeah,
Yes.
and marmalade on scones always.
We're all drooling now. Thank you. And I didn't
Well,
bring
the
any towels.
mixes I've tried to keep the mixes really simple. I mean, it's traditional recipes. Busy with school and a lot of people with kids and things. This is something you can prepare. The breads are all quick breads, so you don't have to knead them and wait for them to rise them in a bread maker unless you have a quick bread setting. And so you just mix them up, pop, you're good to go.
That
um,
sounds so nice. I
yes.
for the for anybody who wants to go check it out, I did post the link in the chat, and that will post automatically the rest of the evening. So, or the rest of our chat here. So,
Um, Amy, how, because you have a lot of like Celtic themes and just kind of strewn throughout your website, and I was just kind of wondering, do you have like Irish heritage? Did that play any part into the kind of food that you decided to make?
Yes. My mother was my mother's maiden name, and she is our Scottish lineage from way back. Although my Scottish many generations ago, but so that's where the Henderson's hearth came from my mother because she never met a person she couldn't feed, and it seemed like a good fit for the Ren Fair. It was something my heritage and going, oh, so this is where the Welsh tea cakes came, whose grandmother was from Wales. So it's like, okay. And it just slowly evolved. And it just seemed like a perfect fit. Kind of fell into place, and the company almost formed itself.
Wow. It kind of all just fell into place, huh? That's
Yes,
like it's.
be my.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm
I'm sorry.
I've been doing this 9 years. What I thought was going to be just, hey, let's play at the Ren Fair at home. Full-time job, several states, many different rentals, and the online sales too.
That's
So
one
you
thing I
talk.
want. Oh, sorry, Trey.
No, go right ahead.
I just want to make sure that everybody at home knows, everybody that's listening and watching knows that you can order on the hendersonshearth.com and have all of this goodness we're talking about shipped directly to you. So don't worry about that. All right, go ahead, Trey.
We're
Sorry.
readily available.
She's
Yes,
going to get
that-
off the podcast and
Get
go.
to the
She'll get off the podcast right now and go fill your order. I'm just kidding. We'll wait. We'll wait for her.
So you talked about going to different Renaissance festivals, and I just was wondering what got you started going to Renaissance festivals?
The fantasy of it, the romanticism of it. We owe all the hardships of 400 years ago. You know, get to play dress up in a persona. When I'm doing the Ren Fair, I have a very horrible Scottish accent that I use. You just get to play another character. So it's history. And
I do.
especially as I've been doing this more, I've learned, because the Louisiana Ren Fair takes place at a time when Mary, Queen of Scots, of Queen Elizabeth. And we had a Queen Elizabeth there, and she and I could a little bit on that. I mean, I'm supposed to be respectful of the Queen, but she knew where my loyalty. It's like, you're taking care of my lady. It's fun. I did drama in high school and career out of acting. So this gives me a chance to indulge my acting, and
For sure.
it's such a great group of people to be involved with too.
Yeah. And for me, I don't think that there's really anything that you could do that's more like drama or I'm losing words tonight, but just that improv. There we go. Jeez. There's nothing
Right.
more improv that you can do than like go to Ren Fair and adopt a persona for like 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
For sure.
And that's probably who's going for the first time to a Ren Fair. It's interactive. Pull away if somebody starts talking directly at you as a character. Don't be afraid to act or get them rolling, because that's what it's all about.
That's a big part of it that's fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, what would make you start rolling? I do have to ask.
Yeah, what are some of the encounters you've had out there? Or I'm sorry, that is over the top of Trey's. So go ahead. Answer his first. I apologize.
What would get me start rolling? I don't know
Just
what you mean.
so for me, I try to like intentionally get improvers to just start just kind of breaking down character a little bit, and just make them start laughing so hard, kind of like they used to do on the Carol Burnett show, and just like crack a joke and then everybody just kind of like loses character a little bit. What would make you start? What would make you start just laughing and just break character?
Usually the children. They come up with the most cool questions. and come out of left field with those. One, we Louisiana. So I've got a little wooden booth, supposed to look like my home. And the child's asking me, so how do you pack this up at the end of the show? We just packed up the booths and took the booths with us when we moved on to the next Ren Fair. And some silly things. You tell them all the recipes come from Ireland, Scotland. I had one look at me and go, so? Didn't know how to respond to that. For us, we find it really special.
Yeah,
So keep you on your toes.
I believe that.
Um,
So what other kind of interactions have you had that have stood out to you, or maybe something that's made your what you do fulfilling? Like, is there anything that's happened that you've really felt like, yeah, this is why I do what I do? I'm that hit home.
Probably one of my favorite. Well, there's um, little lady in her 60s or 70s, and I mean, she was shorter than me. She came up to my booth at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival. Crowd that was there. This woman makes my breakfast sexy. Apparently, it was the strawberry vanilla jam, and she would almost a whole case to last her until the next year. She had driven from north of where that festival is in Nashville, or outside of Nashville, that is. But she had driven down just for the Renaissance Festival, and she had a list of booths, and I was on it, and I'm going, okay, that was worth all the aggravation. Get there, trying to make enough product, and then one of my from an old sci-fi TV show, I had met his wife, and his husband was in love with the orange marmalade. And then I was at a science time, and she's like, "Oh, good, you're here. I'm going to bring my husband over." Yes. And I'm trying to be, the mature adult, and on the inside going off in the back of my head. And he's just going on about how he loves the marmalade. She could tell I knew who he was. And he's going, "Wait, you watched the show?" And no, I did. But for him he told me that was the best marmalade lived in the States.
Wow.
So that was nice for somebody I admire. He was admiring mine, and that felt really good.
Yeah. That's pretty great.
all right. So, out of all of the Renaissance festivals that you've been to, which one has been your favorite and why?
Oh, well, the Norman, Oklahoma Renaissance Festival this year,
Hmm.
and I'm hoping my children live up there, and my grandson came to work with us this year, so now I have an excuse to go up there and spend a little more time with them. Really fun getting him hooked because he had never really been to a Ren Fair before, and I don't know, they each just have their own magic. I mean, Louisiana, I get to go home and sleep in my own bed, but that's where I was there. Um, Doing 6 weeks in February is not too rough.
Yeah.
Um, Tenor it's in these woods.
Hmm.
It's on a private piece of land, buildings. It just looks like everybody just came out to this sell their wares for spring, and it's gorgeous out. Wonderful people that support the fair and come out every year. I'd say that I've been to one that was that I went to and said, "Yeah." They all just have their best, their different qualities that make them.
Sure.
Well, I'm about to go to my first. I'm going in. What is this? It's October. I'm going at the end of the month with my partner for the first time. It's his first Renaissance Festival. It's my first Renaissance Festival. So we're very much looking forward to experiencing many things.
Good. Which one will you be going to?
Carolina Renfest.
Beautiful things about that one.
Yeah, it's so much. I have heard that it's huge, and we're very much looking forward to it. So, when somebody asked us once, like a couple weeks back, like what we're going to do first, we both looked at each other and went, "We don't know, but we're just going to go and have a good time."
Did I hear you say that you hadn't been there
Good.
before?
I hadn't been there, and nor have I. I've never been to a Renfest.
I thought you had been to the Carolina. Well, this is exciting, and I feel like I missed this somehow. Like maybe we talked about it before, and I don't remember. But I'm glad you're remedying this tragedy too. Since we already covered Lord of the Rings this time, Josh said, "Trey, you're fired."
Josh,
I mean,
all right. I'm just gonna get like the letter A, and instead of like adultery, I've just committed atrocities.
Atrocity. Thank you for your audacity. Right. No, I'm glad you're going.
I am.
Right.
He's new experiences. Don't judge.
He's at least doing it. He's not anti-Renaissance Festival. He's not dissing it. He's going to go experience it.
Right.
And we want a full report when you come back. I think that would
Absolutely.
be cool. Yes.
And I mean, I do have to say that if I dissed anything to do with the Renaissance Festival, I think I would have been burned alive at the stake. Personally, by my co-host.
Yeah, it would be a stake that maybe appeared in a movie that you haven't seen yet. In the chat, it says Trey was just waiting to have all these experiences to experience the movie-like wonder of first-time discovery.
Yes, with my partner.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that you get to witness this first-time experience as well. So,
yeah, I love you, Seth.
It says, Josh said, "Of course we love Trey. We just have to give him hell when we learn of these gross deficiencies." Yeah, gross deficiencies.
Okay, moving right along back to our lovely guest.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what? I did have a really great question, and it was, you've had a lot of people from all over try your products, and it sounds like you've gotten amazing feedback, and you've got to meet a lot of really amazing people through doing this. Who is someone that you would just be thrilled to have stop by your booth and try or purchase your products? What's somebody that would just make you giddy or pass out or whatever reaction you have?
List is kind of long on that.
Well, you can pick a few.
Pretty much anybody that played a Hobbit in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize for that. Trey should be apologizing for that.
Just, I watch The Friendship Onion. I don't know if...
Yeah, they have their podcast. Dom Monahan and
Billy
Boyd. Right.
What? Yeah.
Dom and Billy, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you.
They just seem like such a fun group.
They do.
What else? Yeah, I don't know that I'd faint or anything, but I would definitely be playing with them because I know they'd be able to be improv and interact and just the silliness.
I feel like they have fun all the time, everywhere.
Sam Hewen would probably make me drop to the familiar with Outlander.
Oh, yes. More than I'd like to admit.
It's Jamie. The actor that plays Jamie, that would, yeah. I'm
Emily and I have
happily married, but it wouldn't be too bad to have him. Just put him on the front porch and have him talk about how good the products are. I could go home the end of the night.
You would sell out because the whole of the Renaissance Festival would come visit your booth.
Then I could probably afford a bottle of his scotch. So,
right. No kidding.
He's got that own private reserve in that his own label that is.
Josh. Seth said, especially with his Hobbit feed, I wouldn't have expected Trey to want to reconnect with his ancestors. And Josh said,
okay.
I'll let you answer to that first, Trey.
First of all, the library is not open. Do you see any books behind me at this moment? The library is closed, and it has been closed. How dare you?
And Josh said, I mean, the hobbits are going to love those jams and marmalades. Yes, hobbits do love, like, everything you carry on your website is something a hobbit would love. And our inner hobbits would love it too. My inner hobbit.
I saw a t-shirt recently that said trying to like an elf. And I just think that's my life goal now.
Wait, I think you cut out for a second. Trying to what, an elf?
Trying to hobbit, but look like an elf.
Oh, yeah, it definitely cut out.
Heard that?
That's pretty funny. I like that. Amy would be banned from the Ren Fair for witchcraft for how good her food is. Oh, that's so nice.
I just saw that. Thank you.
Not the banned part, the good food part.
So before the podcast was starting, you had mentioned to us that you had gotten started with some fantasy series like, oh my gosh, of course, Lord of the Rings. You started playing D&D a little bit. Who are some of your like big all-time inspirations when it comes to fantasy?
Definitely C.S. Lewis, Narnia series, and his other books. He's probably my number one favorite author. Tolkien. I got hooked on that early.
Yeah.
Seeing the animated Lord of the Rings in the movie theater.
Oh,
I'm dating myself, but
that's awesome though.
I went, excuse me, convention in New Orleans when I was in high school. Group that was doing the SCA medieval reenactments, and then you had the group Star Wars and the Star Trek group, and it was just being able to embrace their geekiness at the time before it was cool. So there were so many opportunities to, I mean, I got a chance to meet Martin before I even knew who he was, really. And then later on, I'm going, yeah, before, and, the Game of Thrones and everything. It's going, oh, yeah. I saw him at a dance once.
Wait, who did you say you got to meet?
George Martin.
Oh, cool.
The author of, I think he's from this area. And he was at a lot of the local in New Orleans. It was strictly books. The fantasy books and the science fiction books are there. And I had met him through some other friends. I didn't know what was going on. But it would definitely have to be C.S. Lewis is my all-time favorite.
Good choice.
Tolkien. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly.
No, that sounds about right.
Although I have later picked up, Jim Butcher fan for the Dresden series. And there's Quiet. Some of the names I'm afraid to throw out. I don't
No,
know
don't.
how
Go ahead.
obscure they are.
If we don't know them, our audience may. That was one I didn't know myself. But yeah, no, whatever. So far, that's the only one I haven't heard of that you've mentioned this whole podcast. So.
And then non-fantasy, I am a fan too. That just speaks to my Roman, the vintage England, the estates and the tea, being able to just live life out in the country. Had I gotten to pick a life.
Yeah, I like the idea of. Well, have you seen Enola Holmes, that movie on Netflix? It's like a female Sherlock Holmes.
I have not watched.
You might like that.
I'll have to look into that.
I think you would.
As television as I used to.
Yeah, that one's on Netflix.
If you like Sam Hewn, you will be equally as charmed by Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes.
I'll take Henry Cavill as anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in that like this much, but he's in it.
My husband is a huge Witcher fan.
I was just about to bring that up too.
I'm not that much, but every now and then he'll be watching it and I'll walk past and it's like, oh, he's in the bathtub. Yay.
Yay, the bathtub scene.
I'm so standing.
That's awesome. I was about to ask if you'd seen The Witcher, but yeah. Hooray.
Yep.
Did you see the series The Tudors, and he was in that?
Yes.
That's
where I discovered him.
Same here. Yeah.
And then he got Superman, which I thought he was excellent as. Much as superhero geek as the sci-fi and the fantasy. You can probably tell just by the etched spoons that I have on the website. I'm going to look at them and see there's some Harry Potter, there's some Lord of the Rings, the Sassenach is from Outlet. I refer to them fondly as my geek spoons.
I have a gigantic circle of friends I'm going to be sharing your Sassenach spoon with.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can get that spread around and you can sell out of those. I hope you can replenish your stock quick enough, because you might. I really love the one spoon to rule them all as well. I thought that was clever, and I might need that in my kitchen.
I'm looking to hopefully expand them a little bit. There's a lady out of Texas, and she wholesales.
Okay.
And so the only thing I haven't found was we need to come up with a Doctor Who spoon. That's the only of my selection of interests.
Like a TARDIS spoon or a...
Well, she's so clever with the phrasing wise.
Yeah.
And that's usually how I can sneak it into like a Renaissance festival. You need to stir the batter with the spoon.
Yeah.
And then trying to get those different... So even if she just did one with all the gears and such, but I'm sure she can about custard or...
Okay. Not intended to be a pitch at all, but on the back of it, you could say something like, my other tool is a sonic screwdriver.
Oh.
Or I like that.
Or it's a sonic spoon.
That.
Yeah.
Sonic spoon. Love that. If so, considering that we've talked about like fantasy and we've talked about Renaissance festivals, you've mentioned Sam Hewn making you drop to your knees if he came by and was buying your food. Um, this is like my one question that I love to ask anybody, given like all the things that we're into. If there is either a character from a book or a real life person that you could have lunch with, and it can be the biggest buffet of like Faye invited whatever that you could imagine, but you would have lunch with them. Who would that be with?
Professor McGonagall.
Oh,
Ooh, okay, why?
it's a good choice.
I just think, I mean, and maybe it's my desire to just meet Maggie Smith. I just think you get a taste of some of her sense of humor, series of the movies, but just nonsense, her wisdom. I just think she'd be fascinating.
Yeah.
And I kind of see myself becoming that. I mean, you try to put on a persona when you're being a business person and you're trying, especially when you go into a line like I did. I mean, and I ran off and joined the Ren Fair because in modern media, those people that work at Renaissance festivals as loser types are the toughest working and longest work ethic. And but they're kind of leery of newcomers, but once they invite, your seal of approval is that they realize you're working just as hard as they. Seriously, you're not just out there to run around and have fun and fun with your line of work.
Mm-hmm.
That you appreciate that, you know, this is how I pay.
Hmm.
Yes, I agree with Archer 33 Smith.
Yeah, Maggie Smith is wonderful, he said.
It's it's kind of funny. So what I do for work is I do some instructional design, and I created a character at work who is actually based on, in large part, on Maggie Smith, just her wit, but more so on the like the Downton Abbey side of things. Um,
Yes.
just dry wit, puns like you couldn't believe, quips. So Maggie Smith is formally embedded into a corporate e-learning that I created.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Great. That is really great.
Yeah, she's one of
So
my favorites from Downton Abbey.
Have either of you seen the movie Tea with, I believe that's what it's called.
Um,
Maggie Smith and two others that I can't remember their names, but they're AIM ladies.
Tea
They've
with
all gotten the
Mussolini.
official title. No, no, no. This is who happen to be huge name actresses in Hollywood and British movies. And it's just, they get together just themselves for the weekend.
mhm.
And this one time they let a camera crew. It's a riot. That was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still, but you get to see them being themselves and they're reminiscing about their for the decades and when they first were doing theater and just lids and all.
Yeah, there's Tea
Oh,
with Mussolini is it's got Judi Dench in it and Maggie Smith and Cher is in it. Lily
No,
Tomlin.
This is tea with dame. Tea with the dames.
Okay. Sorry, I had the wrong.
So much.
Oh, here it is.
They've
Yeah.
done so much.
Eileen
Yes.
Atkins. And I found it. It also has Judi Dench in it.
Well, because Maggie and Judy have been best friends.
Okay.
And those two start sitting there talking stories and getting giggles. It's hilarious.
I
It's
can't wait
hilarious
to see
because
that.
you're looking at two friends. I highly recommend it.
Tea with the Dames. I put the link in the chat for anybody who wants
Oh,
to go look it
good.
up on IMDb, so you can find that. That's kind of cool. I'm so glad you brought that up. Now I can't wait to see it. And it looks like you can watch that on Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
Oh, good. Good.
And it's also on Apple TV and a few other places. But yeah, cool. I'm gonna. My sister loved that too.
Yeah. A couple times because I kept laughing and missing the next joke. So I had to be quiet.
There was something so funny about both of them. Judi Dench, I don't know what it is about like British women, especially like more the well-known actresses, but they have like some of the driest senses of humor and can just quip like it's nobody's business. They talk about like Julie Andrews, when she's not in front of the camera, is just very different and just very much down to earth. But when she's in front of the camera, it's like Queen Julie, and like, oh yes, and speaking very proper. And then you turn around and you have Judi Dench, and she's like, I don't care, I'm going to be myself no matter what. And I have to respect her for that.
Yes. I'm trying to think. It was Emma Thompson, I believe, when she was doing the Harry Potter movie, had a swear jar for the adult actors and funding somebody's college education. Because
Wow.
she was just. So apparently she hasn't learned from Julie Andrews on how to behave in front of others. She didn't care.
That's funny. That's hilarious. So where do you ever come up with like new recipes and stuff? Are you in development for things often, or how does that happen for you?
I was supposed to be adding some recipes this summer, but I'm hoping to have some for next year. And then I
Okay.
also have a cookbook.
Oh.
Oh,
I get a lot of my customers tell me they've played off of the original mix. You know, like with the potato soup mix, who's made a shepherd's pie soup
Oh.
using that, or another one, corn bisque, using the potato soup. And then peas that I can't make a mix out of because they're just that won't stay fresh or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's something I've had an idea thought might be fun.
Yeah.
please.
I
I'm
think
hoping formulating a solid plan by next summer.
cookbooks seem to sell really well too. I want to say I think that's like the number one seller on Amazon. I think Archer33X in the chat can verify that, but I think that's what I heard, that cookbooks are like a number one seller in America. Like that's the number one type of book that sells. So I think that sounds like it would do really well.
Paul Newman used to do a contest through one of the ladies' magazines, food products that he has in the stores, and he would, and you using the popcorn or the salad dressing or the marinara or whatever, the winners, instead of getting a cash prize, they would get a donation made to the charity in certain increments, depending on first, second, or third. And to do is try to do it to where it's giving back. I've looked at charities that are like Henderson's to give to,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't. So many, I'm passionate about that. I'd love to help out. So this would be a way back, and I wouldn't have to make a choice.
Yeah.
But fun recipes to see how people are playing with them.
Yeah. And especially for people who maybe want to get some of your items but like can't transport food for whatever reason, or I don't know why that would be. But I could see that being a great gift.
I have heard. Yes, I have. TSA will toss the jam.
Oh.
It's more than. Had one lady try to fly home with some, and she emailed me back going, "They threw it out."
Oh.
So she had to order more.
Well, I'm glad she ordered more though.
She was excited about the jam. She just didn't think that she needed to be more careful.
It doesn't seem like a liquid, so I wouldn't maybe think of that either.
Who knows what they're thinking? Crime, I think so. I was raised, don't waste food.
Right.
So I once, I talk about this often, but I once went to the Netherlands, and there they don't really keep bread in like standard packaging, and they typically are close enough to a bakery that you can go pick up fresh bread pretty much on the daily. And I once stopped into a bakery and got like a bag of buns that I was then going to turn around and make some sandwiches for the week. And I put it in my backpack and proceeded to not take it out of my backpack again until I was flying back home. So I wound up flying, I don't know, over 1,000 miles with like a package of of Dutch buns in my backpack, and I'm going through customs, and the customs agent goes, waves the wand over my backpack, and you boop 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 boop, and he opens it up and pulls out like a bag of Dutch buns and goes, sir, would you still like these? And as I took a look at the package, I started to notice the mold, and I started to notice that it was no longer fresh.
Oh no!
And I was like, I would have to pay for that, right? And he goes, yes, no, trash that.
Just a hand.
Kaz is in the chat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over the top of you, Amy.
No, that's fine. I just said that's a shame. That's such a shame.
It is.
And they were really good too. I had one of them.
I just want you to say Dutch buns again.
Dutch buns, Dutch buns, Dutch buns, Dutch buns, Dutch buns.
Kaz is here in the chat and said, hey guys, also is Trey moving?
Oh, yes. So for those who are listening to me, or listening to the podcast and cannot see the visuals, you will notice that I have a very barren bookcase, or a couple of bookcases behind me, and this like weird brown thing off the side of that. So I am moving. I am selling my house to move in with my darling partner, Seth. So I'm in the process of selling my house, and we will be living together shortly. So I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you can go to the bakery and buy Dutch buns together.
While we discuss in depth and ad nauseum the Lord of the Rings movies, the extended editions.
This is the way.
This is the way.
He said excitement intensifies.
So we're very excited, but not to detract. We missed you too, Cause. Uh, so, so Amy, as far as like, what inspires you when you create food? Like you said that the soup mixes came first, then it was the bread, then it was the jams. But what inspires you, honestly, to keep making food or keep coming up with these incredible confectionery treats?
Would it be awful if I said trying to continue strong sales?
No, that's
Um,
Oh,
valid.
well, I love. Um, it's just fun for me to come up with something that just touches other people too. I mean, like I said, some of these are family recipes. Mix is, they ask me, what does it taste like? And it's like, it's my childhood. That was something I did find out that she baked them in the oven, which is how I've got the instructions on them. But in Wales, they actually do them on a griddle,
Hmm.
kind of like little hotcakes. I need to try this and get this adjusted. So I mean, every culture celebrates or come. I mean, you even I've seen travel shows where nothing villages in nowhere Africa. They have nothing by our American standards, and yet they have no thing. Everybody gets around the fire. There's their form of music, their form of food, their which you could find a different version of it, but anywhere in the world, people welcome with food. People celebrate with food. They I'm from South Louisiana, so if there's a death, you're not going to have to cook for about because everybody brings you food, and it's just it's one way that we communicate. I guess it's one of those forms of you know, I'll feed you, I'll share with you, we'll sympathize together over something with a little stronger in the tea, maybe.
Well, yeah, it builds community and
Yes.
unity. Yeah. It's interesting because was listening to another podcast where they were talking about this, and they were talking about how when various charities were giving food to the poorer places in the world, that they would give them food thinking, okay, you we've dropped this household 30 days worth of food in various forms. And so we'll come back and give them another 30 days of food in another month. And they would discover that they would run out way before the 30 days because the way their culture was when you have extra food, you share it. You bring everybody in from
Yes.
all around and you give the food away and you share it and you bring everybody in for the big pot of soup and everything. And they realized that you can't give them a month's supply without giving the whole village a month's supply. Because
Right.
yeah, or they'll run
Right.
out. Right. And they once they realized that, they various charities who did that realized how they needed to give them food differently or more often or spread it out further so they wouldn't. But really, that community exists in other cultures so much that they weren't going to change it just because of the way we dropped off food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you get blessed with something like that, it's only share it with others. I
Yeah.
think that's how humanity through all the dark periods through history is you get your community and safety in numbers. It's also going to be survival in numbers.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a more southern way of saying I care about you and I'm thinking about you than honestly through forms of food. I
Yes.
remember honestly so often, like growing up, that and kind of like you mentioned, like any time that there was a death or a time of sadness, or even in times of joy, there was always some form of a casserole dish, a pie showing up on our doorstep. Um, which I just got to say, shout out to pecan pies. Yeah, special place in my heart for pecan pies.
Yes.
I'm
But
glad you didn't say pecan pie.
okay,
He didn't.
Wait, how do you say it, Amy?
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie. Okay.
Pecan pie.
That is the correct way.
people in Texas would disagree, but they're also wrong. Um, but
They're a country unto themselves.
uh, bless their ever loving hearts. Yes, they are.
There.
And I say that as somebody
I
from
see what you
Texas.
did there. You did there.
Yes, I do too.
um, but but it really, sometimes I think that we as people sometimes fail with words because we're not sure what words are the most impactful in the moment. But
Hmm.
we can bake love into food, and that's some maybe a little heady concept, but we can absolutely bake how much we care into something that we've created for somebody else, and I think that speaks volumes. So if you can't say it with words, say it with food.
Well, when my family was young and money was kind of tough, invited to these birthday parties, I started learning how to decorate cakes. The money to go out and buy a gift and everything, I'd offer the mom. It's like, tell me what the theme is for you, and that'll be our gift. And half the time, the kids were more thrilled with that. Get tired of later on, and because I've got a one of a kind cake that nobody else for me, and that made them feel so special. And fight on my part, but they appreciated the effort and all. So my daughter's birthday parties.
I'm
Emily,
sorry.
you
There
look
was
like
like
you're going to ask something.
yeah, I lost it. I'm sorry. I was about to, and I was like, wait. I apologize. It had to do. I don't remember. It had to do with because you have the types of foods you have, especially like the soup mixes. Those are things I could see doing the same, bringing people together.
And the soups I make, um, three of them are vegan. So you can just mix them up. If you are more carnivorous, you can add meat. But I mean, like potato soup, most people are going to put some bacon on top of the bowl or maybe cook it up with a little bit of a ham.
Yeah.
And the Hendersons is actually a Scottish recipe. Lentils, barley, brown rice, onions, herbs, and that's how it's served. It's just a nice hearty recipe. I'll cook it up with beef broth,
I was looking
but
at that one. It's really unique.
yeah. And then, down here, some of them will add like the spicy Rotel tomatoes if they want to zing it up to it. It's great if you have some leftover meat. That and the creamy rice for, throw me your leftovers and see what I can do with it. And you're going to love this.
Um, so I do have to ask, since it is fall, it is officially fall now, so I'm going to call it fall. Um, the weather outside might disagree with me, but that is neither here nor there.
Not here.
Sure.
Here a little bit. But my question to you is, since we're talking about soups and things, what is your like go-to meal for fall or for when things start to get a little chilly?
I would say it's the Hendersons with the brown. That's just, you can have a salad on the side, and if it's really cold and wet outside, and especially like after one of those rainy days where you've been at the Ren Fair, it's cold, you're soaked to the bone, beer bread. Because you can do the beer bread in like a soup bowl shape, and just soup in a bread bowl. Oh, that is so. There's something about carbs on oil that's just very soothing.
Carbs.
Yes. Carbs. That's right.
I don't claim that most of the Weight Watchers friendly. They're traditional recipes. They're comfort. I recommend moderation. But I mean brownies. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a recipe. But I had to throw in my mother's brownie recipe because it was just so. And apparently my customers agree. So.
When you're selling, whoops, sorry about my mic. When you're selling at the Renaissance Fair, do you have samples out? Like, how do people?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering how people tried your items and foods there, because I could see this being successful, but how if they haven't tried it? Like, I'm going to order some, right? But
yeah.
No,
especially the jams because of our combinations.
Okay, right.
So I definitely have samples of the jams, and I usually, like the Louisiana Ren Fair, I have a shop where I can actually have a little electricity, and I've got a pot that I hide in the cauldron. So I'll try to do one soup sample a week, and then the jams. Now we had to quit that with COVID, so in this year, but I definitely have the bake mixes, and try to do some of. I mean, if nothing else, just the aroma of the soup cooking fills the booth and just draws.
I bet. That sounds amazing.
See, now I'm scared to go to any kind of Renaissance festival because I'm just gonna smell these incredible aromas of things and just gonna be drawn to all of them.
Half a good third of it is food. Definitely the food. You're not gonna find it most regular festivals. So you'll definitely have. Yes, turkey leg. I see there.
Oh, that would be Seth again. He and his turkey leg.
Leg. I put, because it's perfect for fall, I put the link up for the mulled cider spice bags because that sounds amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. That just sounds perfect for this time of year.
I do those. So you found them because I couldn't remember if I had turned them back on because I usually don't have those over the summer. And the mulled wine and the mulled cider, yeah, those are nice and comforting when it's.
Let me see if I don't think I saw the mulled. Oh, there is mulled cider and mulled wine. And then there's the Celtic gift bundle that has those in there too, it looks like.
Yes.
That's exciting. Oh, what a cool mix of things. That's wonderful. Okay, everybody's just going to have to get off of here and go to your site and...
Well, they can wait until it's over.
You can, because Amy is busy with us right now.
I'm so sorry to inform you that...
And I can't ship...
Oh, go ahead.
I can't ship anything tonight. Sorry.
Right.
We'll have to wait until tomorrow.
We rely on other services like the post office. And right. Unless you're Sam Hune. Sam, if you're listening... please email me at emily@themodrom.com so we can put you directly in touch with Amy, and she will open her shop for you at any time, day or night, 24/7. You just name it, and we'll make that happen.
And if you would like to sponsor us, please email us at pleasesponsorusweloveyou@themodrom.com.
Yes. And if you would like, if anybody would like to send us some of Amy's treats, you can send us an email at send us treats?
Send us treats
Send us
at
treats at
themodrom.com.
themodrom.com. These are all emails that actually are in existence, and we can be found there. We will answer you. It might be
I
snarky,
think
but we will. I'm sorry.
I think we can get you guys. I think we can get you guys to try out and get your opinion on them.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
What part of the process of like making this stuff or being at the Ren Fair or selling it, or what the online part of your business, what is your favorite part of the process that you get the most excited about?
The sales, being at the festival, meeting, getting to talk to them. I'm always hearing stories about somebody's recent trip to Ireland, or they may have lived, or somebody in their family had the bread recipe that went with them when they passed away. So they haven't been able. So it's fun to see how it connects to people. Trust me, when I'm setting up a booth, ridiculous weather, and questioning my life choices at that time, set up and have the gates open and the people come in and start telling me jams or what it means to them. And that's when I realized that it's been worth it all. I do it, and to me that's more valuable than the money I make. It's more rewarding to me. The money just helps me keep doing it.
Right.
That's the part that's so special, especially with some of these recipe childhood too. That somebody else is going, oh, those are so
right. Well, I think part of what you do too, at least stories that you hear, what you do kind of touches people at home, where their soul is and where their heart is, and I think that's a little more intimate than selling some other products, and versus a lot of the other things that are sold out there. So that's really cool that you get that experience, and that's part of what that's fulfilling to you. That's really cool.
Well, don't we all have a memory of some favorite food, or sharing something with a parent, or TV, having that snack or something? There's they say the memory. Food does too. Food does too. I mean, look at the fights that go on at Thanksgiving. Remember that one family recipe again this year, and you may not eat it, but it's not your Thanksgiving if you don't have it.
Right. It's funny because this just came up in real life for me too. I went to a small private high school, and one of the things we used to do to raise money for our class trip is we would do like bake sales, and we did various foods available at lunchtime. And one of the things that we sold was one of the families that was involved with the school. They had multiple members of this family were teachers at the school, and their kids were at the school. So like everybody knew them. And they were from the Philippines, and they had this recipe for lumpia, which is basically a type of spring roll, like an egg roll.
Yes.
And oh, they were so good. And I'd never eaten anything quite like it at that time in my life. And everybody loved them. The whole school, everybody bought them. We'd make gigantic batches. We'd freeze them by the dozen and offer them for sale. And the only reason we were able to do it is because, we called her Mrs. E. Mrs. E, the matriarch of the family, had this recipe from when she was in the Philippines and brought it over with her. And we would go over to her house and make these gigantic batches. I remember rolling these little egg rolls for hours so we could go on our school trip. And I had reconnected with one of her, I think it might be her grandson, on Facebook, and I said, I've had this in the back of my head for years now. I want that recipe. And so he asked if she, she's not young anymore. Can you give us the recipe for Emily? And she doesn't have it because she did it all from memory.
Oh,
She does not have it
yes.
written down. And so he's just going to give me the list of ingredients and then sort of tell me some of the ratio of portions, but
Yeah.
she never measured anything. She never counted anything. It was just, I start with this much and I just throw it together. And so I'm
Yeah.
really excited. He's working on getting that list to me. Right now, I messaged him back today. So I'm really hoping to. I'll make it 100 times to try to fine tune this recipe. I'm so excited that.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Yeah. See, and that's something that stuck with you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
probably not something fancy,
No.
but it was a special memory, full flavor.
Yeah, the smell of it cooking and the taste, that's gonna bring me right back. Yeah. It's exactly one of those things.
Yeah. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Well, Amy, honestly, I need to go. I need to go out and like go get something to eat because we've been talking about food for this while, and honestly, I am very anticipatory of getting these jams in here, especially the marmalade now because I think Seth really took to the marmalade. But
Good.
one thing I do want to ask you is we've mentioned that you go to some Renaissance festivals. Can I ask what is the next couple of Renaissance festivals that our lovely thousands of listeners can listen to?
Um, Next weekend is the first ever Mississippi Festival in Gulfport. It's a 3-day festival, and we're really excited about this. We're going to have regions, like a Viking region, and
Oh.
we'll be in the Scotland region. And forward to that. That sounds like they've really got a cool setup. And then 2 weeks after Renaissance Festival, which runs for 6 weekends, starting the first week, runs through second weekend of December, I believe. That one's just fun. There's different theme weekends, so you can check out the website org. You know,
What
choose the weekend you want to come out, whether it's pirates or Celtic or.
What's the name of
I'm
that one
sorry.
again? You cut out right when you said the name of that one.
That's the Louisiana Renaissance
Okay.
Festival.
Um.
It's my home fair.
Okay. I was just wanting to get a link for that, so people can. I found it.
And just for everybody listening here, that is the Mississippi Renaissance Festival. Runs from October 14th through the 16th. Then they're going to also be at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival starting November 5th, running all the way up through, double checking, Sunday, December 11th. You can find them from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. More details to come at the Louisiana Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, that's msrenfest.com for the Mississippi one and larf2022.org for the Louisiana one.
Amy, I want to thank you so much for. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I hadn't even heard that new website. Thank you for giving it.
Absolutely. But Amy, it was a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. So your website, of course, is going to be hendersonshearth.com, all one word, hendersonshearth.com. Are there any other socials that you would like our listeners to connect with you on?
I'm on Incense Hearth and Facebook.
Instagram as Henderson's Hearth and Facebook as Henderson's Hearth. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, with that being said, everybody, please, you've heard us talk about this marvelous food, these incredible creations from the lovely Amy here. Please go check out, and I'm sure that you will as soon as this podcast is over, because if your mouth is salivating like mine is, oh boy, yes, we will need to get some. But also, just as I mentioned for us, as we wrap up here tonight, we are pretty much now on every single podcast outlet available. We have moved into your home. We do love your food. We love the fact that you've ordered from Amy's website. Just saying. We are basically squatters, but you know you love us. Thank you. If you would like to send us more treats, please email us at sendustreats@themodrom.com. And if you'd like to sponsor us, please email us at pleaseSponsorUsWeLoveYou@themodrom.com. One thing that we would also like to mention is that we are looking for fellow romantics out there. Are you a modern romantic? Do you know a modern romantic that would be a great guest on our podcast? You can go to our website, click on podcast up at the top, and find a submission link down at the bottom. We are looking for any kind of creators, singers, dancers, artisan food crafters, the mime that hangs out on 21st and Vine. We would love to talk to them, or mime with them in this case. Please send them our way. We would love to connect with these amazing, amazing creators. Thank you to our moderators. This episode, along with every other podcast forever and ever and ever all time, is dedicated in memory to Joe Capone, our moderator, fellow comedian, critic, encourager, and great friend. You can listen for free wherever you get, acquire, attain, Shell Showdown, Boot, Scoot, and Boogie, or download any podcasts. For updates, announcements, and info on who our next guests are, please follow us on social media. Thank you so much for listening tonight. At the end of every single one of our podcasts, for those who are still with us on Twitch, do not go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. At the end of our streams, we do like to go and raid another channel. Rating is taking the audience that we have with our current channel, and through the magic of the interwebs, going and taking that audience and sharing that with another content creator. One of our missions here at the Modern Romantic Podcast is showing that Twitch is not just a place for gamers. It is a place for any kind of creator, whoever they may be. So you don't need to do anything. We'll take care of everything on our side. The only thing that we do ask is that when we get to the person we're rating, you give them a like, a hello, and I don't know, share some friendly soup that you just ordered from Amy's website.
Yes.
Emily, who are we rating tonight?
Tonight we've got a really unique channel. We're going to raid Sensia Katner, who is a mad scientist with an interest in botany, zombienomics, anatomy, namology, biology, monsteronomy, and more. And tonight, Sensia is doing some mad plantery, and basically he's taking cuttings from plants and replanting them and transplanting them, and he's doing all kinds of plant things, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, totally different. I love it.
Yes. So with that, I am excited for that.
Yeah.
But let's give it another round of applause, and please, can we get some love for Miss Amy for being on with us on the podcast tonight?
Thank you so much
Thank
for coming.
you.
Yay.
Oh no, I thank you both.
Will you join us in a brief, 30-second dance break?
Oh.
Sure.
He does this every time. He doesn't do whistle breaks. He doesn't do look bored breaks. He does dance breaks every time.
Because dance break.
How about we do that one dance from Lord of the Rings? How about we do that, Trey?
How about I go clean off my third-degree burns?
Seth said, I'll be sure to save a marmalade sandwich under my hat in the event that Amy shows up.
Oh,
That's
Excellent.
wonderful. Okay, we're ready to go. So thank you everybody for joining us, and tune in next Monday. We have another special guest.
awesome. Bye, everybody.
Okay, so we rated.
Bye-bye.
No one can hear us now. I'm gonna just say hi to Sensia real quick,
Float
and then
over
I'll
water,
come
just
right back
drinking it up a
and
little
say
quicker.
goodbye to you.
Just since you have like a bunch of them kind of as a core.
And
And I use
that was
sand,
awesome.
pretty good amount of sand in it. Not too
Thank
much.
you
just
so much for being
still a
on
pretty good
tonight.
amount so that I could still kind of feel
No,
it.
I had a
Sand will
great
help
time. Thank
dry it
you.
out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Adds a tiny bit of weight.
Um,
Sand will help it dry out a little bit quicker and help your
just
soil
kind of
breathe.
talking through while
Even
Emily's
Kraken not
doing
stirred.
that.
There he is. We were talking
it's,
about him earlier. Everybody check out
Not
Kraken.
my words, jeez.
Doing some cool little nerd rock on here.
What we'll do once we have this
The
up
Modern
and running,
Romantic. How you doing,
once
The
we have
Modern
the audio
Romantic? Thank you for
uploaded
the
and everything
raid.
uploaded to Spotify, we will
Thank you for the raid. I don't think I am familiar.
we'll send you a notification that we're ready to post to it.
Appreciate
Have
that.
you
thank you for the
sent
follow,
Emily
Orphy Welcome on in,
any
guys.
kind
This
of
is the
like
Mad
image
Lab.
or something that
I
you'd
never
like
introduced myself.
as a logo for
aware
this
by
episode of the
someone's comment
podcast?
not long ago. I am Sentia, also
Not
called
yet,
Wayne.
but she did
You
mention
call me Wayne.
it
That's
and
the party
emailed
I'm.
out this evening.
Thank you for the follow, Modern
Perfect.
Romantic.
So once we have that image ready and everything's uploaded, we'll send you a link
Well, I
to it.
appreciate that.
That way,
Okay.
We are
that
kind
way
of close to the end,
you
and this
can
is the
hear
point
that
where I
and you
usually
can
lose
share
my
that
voice.
on your socials.
I push through.
But
We do have to finish up the rest
honestly,
of these
I really hope
guys.
that you get a lot of orders from this, because
So we're also
between
gonna take a
Seth
look
and
at
I,
Modern Romantic.
we are really going to be ordering a lot.
What we got
I
going
hope
here?
so. I hope you enjoy it. I'd hate
We're
for you to
gonna
get
have
all
to
worked up
follow
and then have it be. I think
after
you'll be
Matt.
pleased
Sorry,
with it.
it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this is the
yes.
Mad Lab. We take this is one of my nice
He's
racks. Check out my
honestly,
nice rack.
between the two of us, he's the chef of the
Little
family.
test tube rack. A whole bunch of Trey
And
Oh, good.
so I am in very good hands with him.
See, you're moving in with him. That's a big
Thank you for the follow,
step.
Biz. I like that.
It is.
Pretty cool. Yeah, we take
But
sticks and we turn them back
you
into
know,
plants.
when it's right, it's
This
right.
was one of the large inspirations. I
Yes.
also wanted to mess with.
No, I didn't ask, but how did you meet your husband?
At a science fiction convention.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Our wedding anniversary is October 17th. We've been married 35. His best friend was running D&D in Louisiana. And I met him through friends in New Orleans, where he taught me how to, and then we ended up